Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Just give some time for the stream to start, and then we'll be good to go. Now, we are using something actually different here. After the suggestion of Vulpus, I believe his name is, basically one of the prominent members of the community so far. Ignore that. We are using CBs, which is basically a little program, a utility program, which I will link in the actual comments after the stream if somebody does remind me. But basically, it lets you do far easier. Well, basically, it allows you to far easier have Warner Pacific Admirals Edition run. So I can have all the options chosen without any issues. I don't have to manually set up the shortcut, which is actually quite nice. So for the first time, we are playing in full screen mode, which is something I've never done before. At least, not while I've been recording. The reason for that, well, to be fair, I don't think I've actually played full screen mode since I first bloody opened the game like 2 years ago. Pretty crackers, isn't it? But indeed, yeah. So what is different now is we will actually have some art, we'll have actual animations. There does seem to be a few issues, like the game does seem to have the taskbar coming up over here. So there, Lupus, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, just giving it a go. No hitches it here and there. I think the taskbar keeps trying to pop up over the actual game, which is interesting. But the good news is I can actually use OBS. Yeah, I know, right? Thought, you know what, give it a go, see how it works. You know what's incredible to me? Is I didn't even know there was this bar here. Hello there, Akilaris, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, I didn't even know there was this bar. I'm not gonna lie. I had legitimately no idea there was an industrial bar here. Not a clue. I think it's the first time I've actually seen that. So that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so we should have some actual proper animations here. So if we go ahead and... well, I've also taken a look at the actual CPU modes as well. So basically, as far as I can understand, while we're in this mode here, basically issuing our orders, the game will run using only one CPU. But when it's obviously doing turn resolution, it will run multi-CPU. It should also, I think it'll probably take effect after we finish this turn, it should also create a new archive directory where I can have the tracker obviously go to actually pick up the information. Yeah, no, it's incredible, really. Oh well. So, let's go ahead and take a look at these new fancy-mancy animations. Yeah, we actually have moving ships now. We actually have some sound effects as well. I don't know if I may mute the sound effects electron, will depend. Will depend. Yeah, it's good to see you, Akiloud. I do need to ask you as well if you'd like to play some Project Zomboid at some point in the future. Okay. So they're going to be heading into Kamlan Bay, obviously, to refuel. Now, as we discussed in the Discord, those of you who have read in the Imperial channel, I have been talking about how we're going to reorganize our carriers, to be fair. Basically, how we use our carrier task groups. So what we're going to do here, then, is actually create a vanguard. So, we're going to take, let's see... So there, Lander, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, I don't know why we suddenly have a Japanese one down here. Usually it's like the American, but it's nice to have a Japanese flag. Makes a big difference. Okay. Yeah, the game's definitely looking quite good. I think I might take a look at the other ChemKit map modes. Possibly. I think there is some other ones that do have a different look, so I'll take a look later on. Will we be upgrading those Kates to zeros? Yeah, at some point in the future. You know what? I had to really think about what TC meant. I'm like, I just went blank there. I'm like, what's TC? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I think I could have put my senses up for an cucumber, so that'd be pretty cool. Okay, so what ship are we going to have in the Vanguard? We are going to need something with a mix of speed and armor. The battleships are running at a solid 25 knots here, more or less, unless they can actually do further speed. Possibly so. I think they could probably manage that. Yeah, I could definitely do that. Okay. So I'm looking for armor here, really. notice, so we have 300mm of belt armor, 145 deck, 300 tower armor, durability is 138. What we need really is something that can take a beating. Did I just take a look at Yamashiro? I'd prefer to keep something like Fuso, as she does have a great deal of guns with the main force. The Vanguard Task Force really is to be in the same hex, but the idea behind it is basically it may draw enemy fire, but the idea is also so they can use their search planes. It's, so each hex in the game represents 40 nautical miles. So 40 nautical miles is a big old space, isn't it? So what we wanted to do here is we wanted to create a Vanguard, so that we can actually have float planes being flown from the actual forward elements. Also, it may draw in enemy aircraft. And it will also be something that we will have on a surface combatant mission. So basically, they'll be able to react. Ideally, they'll react to a threat before the main task force with actual carriers have to, which would be quite nice. Good luck there, Akelaris. Good luck. I honestly think you shouldn't have any problems with full screen mode. I also use tracking of the third party apps for War of the Pacific, and anything that bothered me a bit was all tabbing. Yeah, that's true. Did you try if your other third-party tools work with full screen? Well, the thing is like, it'd be nice to actually have access to the drawing tool, but I can always, like, tab out, tab back in. Probably work. Well, we'll have to figure it out. It would be amazing if we could find a way to play window borderless. That would be amazing. Yeah, this game is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Okay, so, anyway. Can I get a gun value? Yeah, we can see a gun value here. So they're all apparently 535. Are they all the same class? Fuso class. Issei. Hyuga. Okay, so we have 2 Fusos and we have 2 of the EC class. $300, 145, 300. I think they're roughly armored the same. Maneuvers 24. 24. Anti-aircraft 384. 348. Yeah, so the Issei class actually has superior anti-aircraft. What we're going to do then is we're going to take Hyuga. Or possibly, is it Hyuga? Issei does have less damage, but this is only like systems damage, and it's only very light. Basically, it's representing the fact that we've been moving out on the open oceans. We've also moved at full speed as well, which obviously increases wear and tear upon the general ships themselves. We'll have Hyuga. Surely for the fact that she's an EC class, she does have an increased amount of AA over that of the Fuso. But she's also easier to pronounce, which makes a major difference. So we're going to take her. So take Hyuga. Now, we do have a couple heavy cruisers, which I'm going to have in here. So Miyoko and Nachi. I could do with additional destroyers, to be fair. So we will have to find additional destroyers in the future. I'd ideally like to have 6 destroyers with the Vanguard force, and then obviously as many destroyers in the main force. To be fair, I might want to just go with 2 destroyers for the time being. Or do we switch out... Well, do we add in a light cruiser here? Possibly. Though this class... So this is the Nagara. Right, so they're both Nagara class light cruisers. Okay. See, that maneuverability is quite good there. Maneuverability of our destroyers, yeah, okay. So you can see here, a destroyer is roughly 3 times as maneuverable as a battleship. About twice as maneuverable as a, well, yeah, about twice as maneuverable as, well, then again, 25% more maneuverable. Whichever freaking way you want to look at it, but she's more maneuverable than a bloody light cruiser anyway. Which is why the Immersing Relief Task Force should actually be able to make it through here with ideally little loss, considering that most of the actual task force there is maneuverable. Which is why larger capital ships find it much, much harder to escape actual wrath of torpedo bombers. Okay. I'm going to take a look at the actual class of these destroyers. So that's 189, which is actually a fair amount of AA. Right, 90189. I think what we need here then is... It's a difficult decision, isn't it? I mean, this, Mikazuki... She's actually a poorer class of destroyer overall. So then, Pirate, how you doing, my friend? Not too terribly much. I mean, what we'll do is we'll go over the actual general strategy in China, and obviously the movements that we've made so far. But we're currently playing with a new utility here. We are using the CB's utility, suggested by Lupus Vulpus, which is obviously appreciated. And yeah, we're playing here in full screen mode, with animations, which is going to be cool. Be nice. Lots of nice things. What we're doing at the moment is we're setting up a Vanguard task force to actually accompany our carriers, which is going to be basically a new way of using our carriers. Just using our air power, really. I think what we'll do then is I'll take the Mikazuki. So we'll leave behind 4 destroyers with capable AA. You've got to bear in mind that 189 is actually a respectable amount of AA. In fairness, what I might do then is actually leave these guys behind. It's a difficult choice because if I look at the AA values, the heavy cruisers do have phenomenally good AA. It's a hard decision, isn't it? What I'll do then is I'll take 2 destroyers. We'll have 3 destroyers in total. And then I'll take the light cruisers. Oh, we have another class. Kitagami. Okay, obviously that is the torpedo galore. Yeah, the issue is she's actually just that bit slower, but then again it doesn't matter considering that we have the battleships alongside us. So speed above a certain range doesn't particularly matter. Right. So I'd have Hyuga, Nachi, Yura. I could have one of the other light cruisers in here. I mean, Kitagami has a freaking phenomenal torpedo salvo. Phenomenal. I don't think there's really anything else that matches that sheer amount of torpedo firepower. That is insane. Absolutely insane. She has 8 of them. In total anyway. Right side, left side. What's that? 20, yeah, so 20 on each side. Bloody hell. So there, Judy. You're behind. Oh, we're doing pretty good. We've got things under wraps, basically. We're just finishing off the turn for the most part. We will have it finished today. Well, tonight, technically, and then we can submit it. What we're doing at the moment is just setting up a Vanguard task force. So what do you guys reckon? Do we travel? Well, do we create a Vanguard? I mean, obviously we'll have reinforcement ships to make up the numbers here. As we'll have our forces travelling from the Philippines, obviously, to Kamran Bay. Now, we could have... I mean, I don't want to risk a seaplane carrier. I'd rather have them with the carriers due to the fact that, yeah, that is 20 search planes there, which is a phenomenal asset there. Now, another thing to consider is the fact that heavy cruisers also have 3 search planes. At least these ones have 3 search planes. Yeah, I know, right. Kitagami kicks ass. I'm actually really tempted to have Kitagami in the Vanguard task force because at the end of the day they're going to be on surface combat, aren't they? So obviously, yeah, we'll have Kitagami in the Vanguard. I think having that torpedo salvo capability is absolutely worthwhile. Okay, so obviously what's going to remain in the main task force then will be 3 battleships. We'll have a heavy cruiser, a few destroyers, and of course the seaplane carrier. Yoko. Yes, indeed. And we also do need to go ahead and take a look at actually our captains of these task forces as well, reload side of them. Okay, so I think this looks like a pretty decent complement. Yeah. We still have the majority of the AA firepower with the carriers. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, good God, can you imagine if Kitagami was able to unleash a salvo upon a capital ship? Can you imagine the damage she could wrought? She's a very effective ship. I think we should very much try to use her. Oh, God, can you I'm just getting images now. Can you imagine if we were to use her in a night attack? The sheer amount of torpedoes in the water she could lay down is phenomenal. I think her ammunition is actually extremely low, but yeah, so she only gets basically one shot of it each. But you've got to imagine that's 20 torpedoes on each salvo. And obviously one salvo, one salvo. That's a lot of torpedoes. That's a hell of a lot of torpedoes. Look at that penetration. There's no ship in the game that can resist that. Well, yeah, I mean, this is it. It's like, well, considering what's left of 4C, that is actually a reality. We don't need to have lots of battleships. Sometimes having too many battleships can make things confusing. I think, I mean, really, how do we view battleships? I think we have to view battleships as something of a second line. They're too valuable to be on the front line. They're made for the front line, but they're too valuable for that role. See, how I view things is really... The battleships, in my opinion, are... They're like our second line. They're the big gun support. They can take a beating, but they're not very maneuverable. If we take a look at the heavy cruiser Nachi over here, as you take a look at her maneuverability, she has 10 more... Well, she has only, what, 6 more points of maneuverability than that of a battleship. But another thing to take into consideration as well is her armour is 102mm. I don't know whether that is actually going to take into consideration... like shell penetration. So I wonder if there's actually over penetration. That's what I'm thinking of. Is the 25mm Type 96 as bad in this game as it was in reality? I couldn't tell you if it was bad in reality, and I certainly can't tell you if it's bad in this game yet. We'll find that out in the future. Hello there, Shannon, how you doing? Yeah, so put them together, you have a potent task force. Yeah, can you bloody imagine a night attack with 2 Kitagamis? Freaking Jesus Christ. It's like in one phase you'd have 40 torpedoes in the water. 40. That's ridiculous. I think we have to try and bring about that circumstance, to be fair. Okay. The thing is as well, she's a smaller ship. Obviously her tonnage is... I say her tonnage is probably half that of a battleship. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Less than that. Okay. I'm happy with this task force. Obviously, as we have further surface combatant forces merge over here at Camland Bay, we'll be able to put further things together. I mean, Nachi can unleash a pretty good salvo there. Yeah, 4 torpedoes on each side. What is that of the actual destroyers? The destroyers have 8 torpedoes. Yeah, in the center line. So there's a major difference there. So Kitagami could put down 12 more torpedoes. Obviously they can do this twice, so in reality they have 16 torpedoes in total. While as Kitagami has 40. Big difference. Is it a Kuma class cruiser? That's one of the best light cruisers Japan has. Interesting. Yeah. Well, this is it. You can imagine the sheer amount of damage that 2 Kitagamis could actually do should they gain range. But I mean, torpedoes have 22,000 yard range. That is actually phenomenally long range. And they're potent. Everything to that. Obviously, they're not likely to hit, but then again, when you put 20 down in the water at once, then you're actually fairly likely to hit something. But yeah, I'm happy with this. So we have Yura, which is a Nagara class cruiser. We have Kinu. Okinu, another Nagara, and then we have the Kitagami. Yep. The Nachi is a Miyoko class, and we have her namesake. And there we go. So, I'm going to put max reaction onto 1. Or do I put max reaction onto 1? No, not really. What we need to do is basically have the Vanguard actually lead the force. Then the carriers will follow behind, obviously, in air combat. We don't want to have max reaction on. Then again, do we want to have max reaction on? Do I want to be reacting? I don't want to be reacting, do I? Or do I want to be reacting? Because it's the aircraft that are going to be doing the reaction. I don't want to be reacting. I don't think I need... No, I don't think we need reaction. Okay. We need a new name for the carriers in Asia. And that would be nice. Ah, damn it. Let's see. Ah. We'll go with that name for the time being, the Singapore Express. Okay, mission speed. Will her threat tolerance need to be high? Or does it need to be high? Airborne sun rays. Oh dear. Right, now this is another consideration here to make, isn't it? In regards to threat tolerance. Do we want them to be at, I think maybe perhaps normal threat tolerance, but the issue is we don't want them to be separated, that's the only issue. Sunder planes. Sundari! I don't know, what do you guys reckon? I think we should probably tailor it to the situation that we find ourselves in. So I'd say probably... Part of me thinks maybe high threat tolerance while we're out in sea and we're not actually expecting an attack. Then potentially, well then again, it's a difficult one really, isn't it? I think we probably need to do it differently, like perhaps have a surface, well the Vanguard Task Force is like a high threat tolerance, so that they stand and fight, while as the actual carriers potentially a low threat tolerance, as they'll obviously try to evade. But then obviously then we separate. But the Carrier Task Force is always going to be the one that's greater in strength, while the Vanguard Task Force is always going to be geared towards surface combatants. Well, engaging surface combatants. And having them stand and fight would potentially save the carriers. So I think we'll go with that for the time being. Obviously we can always edit these options as we go on. But you're going to head for Cameron Bay. There we go. But I don't think we want max reaction, considering the fact that we do not want them to separate. Right, there we go. So that leaves us with Baby Kitabutai over here at the moment. Which is made up of the Ryujo, Zuiho, Fuso, Yamashiro, Issei, Mayoko, Chiyoda, Kurishiro, Oyashiro, Hatazuka, Hatazuki, Hakasuki Zazi, whatever you want, you know what I mean. Yeah, that's about right. God, these bloody names. Okay, also change them to normal, direct routing here. Obviously, we do need to refuel, which we'll be doing so quite soon. We also do need to take a look at our captains. My captain. Right. Takeda Izumu. So, Naval 64, Land 35, Air 35, Admin 47, Aggression 72 is a very aggressive commander. I can't actually currently replace him. Not yet. Izizaki Noboru. 65, 34, 30, 41, 68. Very aggressive. You can only change captain as important. Okay, that's fair. Well, obviously it would make sense considering the captain isn't going to like materialize on deck. But that's fine. It's good to know. Right, so yep, you're going to follow Task Force 155. Okay. Right, what we need to do as well is actually take a look at our friendly neighborhood search planes. I'm loving these animations. It's nice to actually see them moving. We should actually see the bombardment animations and basically firing animations as well, which is going to be quite nice. That'll be quite good. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. I love these seaplane carriers. Eventually, they will be converted into light carriers, which would be very nice. Right, so we have the jegs over here. These are basically the long range, and then over here. So we'll edit these settings over here. Hmm. Now, how do we want to run this? I can change the commander here, which is quite nice. Yeah, how do we want to run this? Do we want to run them on reconnaissance, then obviously have them on search? And obviously reconnaissance is the same as naval search, as far as I'm aware. I think naval search is they'll attack on their own. Yeah, I think at long distance we want to be looking for surface task forces. So we'll stay at 6,000 feet. Closer, we probably want to reduce that to about 3,000 feet or even potentially less. I think potentially 50... Do we want to leave them on 50 and then 0, or do we want 10% and 50? So this means that 50% of the squadron will be out searching. Now if I leave this at 0, they shouldn't theoretically be doing anything. Unless they're flying. In that case they'll be resting. But it's not enforced rest. We'll make our minds up on that one. I'm sure one of you guys will be able to chime in on that one, give me probably some thoughts. I'm half tempted to put rest, but then the squadron would have 100%, so I think we're probably better off leaving it at 50. Obviously, somebody has correct information, do let me know. Okay, so we have 4 planes in reserve over here, which is always quite nice. Of course, these guys are definitely more plentiful. Going with about 50% here. Put them down to about 3,000 feet. I'm actually... I'm going to divide the unit as well. Okay, so 50-50. 50-50 on the day. Now, part of me thinks perhaps we should have... maybe 2/3 of that squadron running night operations, perhaps? I'll put 1/3 on night operations for the time being. So that's going to be sea detachment. Put them to night operations. Okay, 50-50. 50-50. I mean, this is quite important. This actually represents the fact... I do have a manual, but it's just trying to find it, and sometimes experience is definitely better than a manual. But they both functionally will do the same thing. I think on naval search, basically what happens is, should a plane find like a target such as like a submarine or something, they can intend... well, they tend to engage it by themselves. But I think on reconnaissance, they just obviously observe. It would be nice if we had some like little explanations, but unless obviously somebody like chimes up, then we'll just keep it like that for the time being. So we'll have sea detachment obviously running night ops, which is quite good. That actually is going to free up a lot of additional search planes. Yeah, no wonder we were engaged by the enemy over here due to the fact that our search settings are nowhere near good. Yeah, you know what, I'm actually looking forward to doing this to the Fuso class. I think it actually would be quite nice. Yes, we'd lose some guns, but we'd actually gain some aircraft capacity, and the factor 22 is actually fucking respectable. I'm not gonna lie, but basically they'd be able to serve as, like, seaplane carriers. They'd actually be like light carriers in a way. I like that idea. I think, fuck it. It'd be cool. I think in the end of the day, any aircraft capacity that we could get would be amazing. And I think it's awesome. I think it's freaking cool to have like an aircraft carrier battleship. It shouldn't make sense and it doesn't make sense, but I like that. I like a bit of mutually assured destruction, to be fair. Okay, now the question is, do we actually have the battleships actually run day search? We will obviously have more aircraft on day search as it is. I think it's one of these things that we do have to be aware of any potential night attacks. What do we have in terms of actual aircraft? So if you take a look at, well, if I take a look at my float planes. Take a look at my float planes? Okay, guess not. I was hoping it'd show me all together. Just like that. Aircraft carrier battleship is an actual thing. Yeah. Oh man, that'd be amazing. Yeah, having some float plane fighters would be nice. BBV, awesome. Right. So we have 4 Jakes. So obviously they're the ones with the actual range. We have a couple Daves. Only about 4 Daves. The rest are Petes. Their range is 4. Okay. Pete's is 4. Fair enough, so they function the same as the Pete's. Allied ships should be what is prioritized. I mean, if you can get tactical control of the seas and the areas you need. Oh yeah, I mean, while they're out at sea, they'll be running reconnaissance, which is still naval search. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Should we have them set to naval search or naval search? Reconnaissance or naval search? Does it make a difference in this case? We'll find out. I'm sure somebody will let us know. I mean, I could put them on naval search just to assure people for the time being. Obviously, then we can change it back should we need to. The good news in having a seaplane carrier is the fact that our aircraft will have an additional flat top to land on, which is quite good. Oh, interesting. %. Okay. We'll go with that then. Right, that's fine by me. What I'll do then is I'm going to set all float planes in this, well, hex. To this one for the time being. But obviously what we'll do is we'll edit this. So 80, yep. You're flying night, so we'll have you operate at lower altitude. Naval search. 86,000. Obviously in the day. Jakes. Yeah, 86,000. Obviously your range can obviously be upped. So all the Jakes can be set to that. Okay, that's good. I just need to figure out where the other Jake is. Ah, it's on Miyoko. Mayoko. Yeah. 10, 6,000. Sweet. That'll do good then. Okay, so we've got that set up now properly. Check on these ones. I only have 7 float planes here. I would like to increase that in the future. There we go. Right, that's fine by me. Right, so we'll have you follow that task force. So follow the Vanguard. Stand off with 0 hexes, trail by 0 hexes, direct low threat threshold. So obviously we need to avoid anything coming within range of this. As what we'll do then is that we currently have 12 A5 M4s over here. So you're set to escort duties, 20,000 feet. Your range is bloody pathetic. I suppose it's better than nothing. At the end of the day, if they're not going to be able to escort, they won't escort, but perhaps we engage something within that range, it might be worthwhile. Okay, the other do the actual, sorry, other group, the actual torpedo bombers. See, the question is, do I have them restricted to 6 hexes? I mean, 6 hexes is actually pretty short range for the most part. It's one of these questions, isn't it? It's like, do we have them fly at their maximum range? There's always that chance that they could actually destroy the enemy. I mean, 9 hexes is a considerable distance. There's a big difference between 6 and 9. Big difference. I mean, that's like the difference between potentially, I don't know, let's say... Right. So we'll count these here then. So from Patani, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is the difference there. And then 7, 8, 9, give or take. That's a big old difference. From there to there. Big difference. But then again, we would be flying unescorted in for the attack. I'm gonna have them fly at 6. Just for the fact that I don't want to lose them. Unnecessarily so, anyway. So that'll be fine. I'm gonna be somewhat tempted. Let's see. Zuiho. You only have Kate as well. We have an okay amount of claws. I mean, they might be shite. Or, yeah, they are pretty shite, not gonna lie. When you have 7.7mm MGs, they're pretty shite. Their speed's pretty shite. Their maneuverability is pretty shite at 20,000 feet. But then again, that altitude advantage is quite nice. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know, I can click on the range. I'll do it afterwards. It's just so I've got this open at the moment. Yeah, pretty much. Oh dear. I mean, we'll do that in the future, obviously. Light shipping is okay. Yeah, well, that's true, isn't it? Okay. I think we'll keep them running at 20,000 feet. I think at the end of the day, they're not very experienced. They don't have a great amount of armament. The aircraft themselves aren't exactly phenomenal. So having an advantage like the dive might be something of a difference. Aye. We'll keep it as that then. Naval attack. So these are the B5N1s. But they're ball hiding, my friend. Yeah. Oh dear. Right, they are armed as well, which is always a good thing. Now, if I had some dive bombers, I would have some of them actually out on search. But we do have a pretty considerable amount of float planes within this task force. Obviously combined, so I'd say they're alright with that. Okay. Indeed. Right. So with that, yeah, we spent about, what, 40 odd minutes just basically talking about these 2 task forces over here. But it's going to be worthwhile. Okay. So they're going to head for Kamlan Bay. Joining them will eventually be, let's see. You're heading to 294 to merge, so obviously with the main task force over here. I mean, 294 is obviously the carrier. Let's take a look at what we have here. So we have the Naka, which is a Sendai class. AA is not exactly amazing. Has no anti-submarine. Maneuverability as we can expect for a light cruiser. Torpedo armament is... it's okay. Obviously it has pretty much the same as an actual destroyer. Indeed. Obviously though it does have some additional guns. Though it's nothing to like boast about. Though it's nice to have that troop capacity, and they do carry float planes, so that does make a difference. And did you read about layered combat air patrol? If the enemy bombs come really low, and all your fighters are at 20k, they might not even get engaged. You should layer your combat. Yeah, that's also true. We might try that out, actually, in Malaya. Which is probably a good place. Then we could do... yeah, we'll do that on Kitabutai as well, then. We'll try that with Kitabutai too. I could try it over here as well, actually. Yeah, we'll have one run at 20,000 feet. We'll have one run at 15,000 feet. I'm putting it... I'll go about 15,000 feet. I mean, that is 6,000 feet higher than I'd imagine most of these torpedo bombers will be coming in. But you think you should leave it at 20k for now. We might change it on the actual planes of Kitabutai. So that Isaac Chrome, how you doing, my friend? Okay, so yeah. Actually, we're going to edit this. Nothing too much. And we basically just spent about 40 minutes talking about the Singapore Express, which is our newly christened, well, formerly Baby Kitabutai. That and a change in our general use and tactics of our carriers and how they're going to function. So each carrier task force that will have the ships available for it will have a Vanguard task force, which is going to be set to surface combat, which should be made up of a battleship or at least a heavy cruiser, accompanied by either light cruisers, ideally, but of course destroyers to obviously make up the escorts. The idea is going to have them in the same hacks, so that they're going to act as obviously that picket force, that guarding force. It's also the potential opportunity to actually have enemy air attacks attack the vanguard rather than the carriers. Right, considering there's only one of you, you're going to run 100%, it's going to hurt, but oh well, you'll do it. We need that, obviously, well, we need that information. But yeah, so they're going to head out over that way, so the Vegan Combat Force, obviously we could tell them just to head towards Camaran Bay, but they'll link up with carriers. So that'll be an additional 5 destroyers there. Okay, 2 different class of destroyer. That'll be fine. So, 1 light cruiser, 5 destroyers. Over here is where the meat's going to come from. But we'll have 2 heavy cruisers, light cruiser, which is the Kuma. Yeah, Kuma class. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 destroyers again. But having those additional heavy cruisers is going to be great. Now, I do have a number of destroyers down here. That's a lot of destroyers. I mean, that's 8 destroyers. Oh, actually, no, sorry. Never mind. 7. Obviously, no mines. And you have no ASW capability anyway. Neither do you. Wow, okay. Ah, no wonder you're being sent to Takao. Right, there we go. They make you nervous. We should be fine. The thing is that aircraft are probably more than likely going to attack that. Kind of waste of torpedoes, to be fair. We'll see. I might actually set them to use bombs. or even just tell them not to attack. Then again, we'll be fine. We'll move out of the area. We do have 4 battleships in that area. 2 heavy cruisers, 3 light cruisers, a bunch of destroyers. I think we have the armaments to actually take them out. I mean, that was a surprise engagement. We ran into them by mistake. While we actually have information now. So the battle would be considerably different. I don't know, what do you guys think? I mean, I might have a naval attack task force, squadrons. The actual Kates load it with just bombs instead. Which is probably going to be more effective. Obviously, it would save the torpedo ordnance as well. Yeah, we'll run bombs. Okay. These guys. Yeah, full complement. Okay, you're running a little bit low. So there, Diligent, how you doing, my friend? And that's actually Minikazi. Right, we also do... Yeah, okay. What we're going to do then is I'm going to tell you... Right. Clear that. You're going to head home. The reason for that is we are going to need additional escorts. And I could do with them around this sort of region. Though potentially around this region as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them head to Takao. So obviously, the one low on ASW munitions will reload. But we don't need that many destroyers around this area. We do already have some patrol boats. So I don't want to have too much in this way. I do want to have some destroyers available. So then at least should the enemy try to close in on this location, we could attempt a night battle, or basically torpedo salvo. But we don't need a huge amount of them. So I'll set their home port over here then. I'm gonna go over their patrol pattern. That one should be there. That one should be there. Right, only linger there. As obviously then you're within range. So react within 2 hexes. That should be alright. Okay. Seaplane carrier is being escorted by a light cruiser and 3 patrol boats. And she's currently heading to Tokyo. Other friends over here. Yep, they're heading in towards... what was that? Truck, yep. Where we'll be able to make use of the seaplane carrier, Wikiributai. Right. Good, good. Really good. Okay. I mean, that took a considerable amount of time, but that is going to be the basics of our strategy from now on, our tactics from now on. We'll take a consideration then of the multi-layered combat air patrol. I think we'll do that with Kitabutai, considering that we do have the numbers there. So let's take a look. Right. We'll have Hero Squadron run at about 15,000 feet. There we go. We should be fine. At the end of the day, they'll actually be more maneuverable. They're actually closer to the deck as well, so ideally that should work out better for us. So Kitabutai is going to have a multi-layered combat air patrol, as well as escort. That should be good. I might even increase their combat air patrol as well, depending on the situation. I mean, the question is, has he moved anything to Midway? Probably. Possibly. Inevitably. Right, so we should see some engagement over here. What will we be doing with the planes over the Philippines? Well, at the moment, we have our G3s, basically the naval bombers, running ASW patrols. Is it Z to take a look at it? Right, okay, so obviously they're on it undefined. I couldn't define them. Probably worthwhile doing that, to be fair. Yeah, we'll give them a defined pattern then. So we'll go to level bombers. Take our G3s. G4 M1s are currently training. No, they just stood down. Did I not give them orders? Yeah, that's very true, actually. It's very true, isn't it? It's like at the end of the day, like 30% of all squadrons might amount to one, well, less than 100% of one squadron. So that is like a very good argument. At least then that squadron would obviously then react in its totality. So, that's what I love about this game. It's just so many nuances to the game, which is always nice. Right. True. Yeah, they currently have no mission. Fatigue's fine. Do we not have any reserves available? No, no reserves available. Right. Take those reserves. Can't have them here. Well, either way, what we'll do then, I'll give you one of these reserves. Ah. Interesting. Interesting. I think we'll have Hiru, dedicated combat air patrol then. True. Yeah, we'll do that then. We'll do that. Now what to do with these guys? How do we want to use them? True. I know, right? Shameful display. Now then, I'm actually kind of considering the fact of using the G4s, potentially in China. See, I'm lacking reconnaissance on these units. True. Sure, can do, mate. Okay, then, what do we want to do with our G4s, then? Do we want to have them join in the ASW? Or do we want to have them bomb the Chinese forces? I'm gonna have them assigned to ASW. Let's take a look at their actual training. And obviously they can do both, they are bombers after all. But we'll have them join in on the actual ASW just... yeah, I think it's going to be worthwhile. Okay, so these current settings over here. So 20% of the squadron's out, 80% of the squad, right. Do I want to have these settings changed here? That's actually a good point to be made there. Okay. We'll take that into consideration then due to the fact that we are lacking on the G4s as well. Considering that we have 52 G3s in reserve. We'll do that, man. We can afford to lose Betty's. And we can't, well, sorry, no, we can afford to lose Nels. We can't really afford to lose Betty's at the moment. So we'll have him on training then. And obviously these are naval attack craft. Well, ideally. I'd only use Imperial Japanese Army bombers for SW. Yeah, that's true, which is why we're flying Max. Righto. I think this is the thing, it's like, we are learning together, which is why the streams do take a long time. But at the end of the day, it's like, every time we bring something up, every time we talk about something, we are learning something. So it's like, it's one of these things, isn't it? It's like, the first lesson is always the hardest, but then it becomes subsequently easier and easier until it becomes basically second nature. Which is why I enjoy that. Okay, so we'll have them train. Using torpedoes. Set our G4M1s at this baseline to run training. True, true. I think it's more so because that's what we've got here at the moment. That's a good, valid point. Yeah, we're gonna open. Right then. So while we have the Bettys, are these are no's? G3, M2, no, yeah, no. Okay. What sort of settings should we go with here for our patrols? Is 80-20 going to be okay, or do we want to have like 20... Or do we have... Well, how many do we want searching? I think it's one of these things of like, if they're set to ASW patrol, do we want 20% of them on ASW? Will that mean that the 80%, sorry, 20% on ASW, will that mean that the 80% remaining will then go and attack, or do we want them all out? Oh, so just wait for you guys to get back to me on that one. Since this is the thing, isn't it? It's obviously trying to get your head wrapped around this. Well, once we do, then we'll remember how it works in the future and we'll be good to go. Oh dear. I like that one. I do like that one. $80. Right, okay, that's fantastic. That's fine then. We'll keep that as it is. I mean, it's a shame that we can't go any lower, but yeah, that's the best we'll get. Reattach to parent unit. Ah, right, so that was that one over there. Okay, that's fine. So there, HNDZ, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, alright, man. Might actually be worthwhile to do the rest as well. Aye, definitely. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. That's the thing that makes it a little bit confusing at times when it comes to, like, patrols. Righto, so if we take a look over here, obviously ASW, I mean, some of them aren't too bad. I mean, 43 is actually respectable. But we'll go with those options then of 60, 20, 20. At least then some of the squadron will be out resting. Yeah, pretty much. At least this way we'll have the best of both worlds, as we do have some actual fatigue on the pilots and planes. I mean, some of these planes have some pretty high fatigue. I mean, 41 over there is pretty high. I mean, that's what I love, is the fact that you don't only have to take into consideration the actual fatigue of the pilot, you also have to take into consideration the fatigue of the plane, which is incredible. I don't think there's many other games that take that into any sort of consideration at all. You can get away with it in big base with lots of spawn, less so in dinky island bases, yeah. Alright then. So all G3M2s will be set to these options. Fantastic. Change the lead on the first KU K1 Nell Squadron. 28 hours ago. Jesus, yeah. Bloody hell. Guy can't fly a kite, let alone a plane. Okay. He's known to be promising. Okay. He's actually the lowest there, Jesus. So how do we know which pilots are actually assigned already? Well, commanders are assigned already. Are these forces... Well, are these commanders unassigned due to the fact there's no travel time? We could have some incredible commanders here. See, this is the thing I wish it would tell me, is like, if I could sort it by assigned commanders and unassigned commanders, then at least then there'd be no confusion at all. I mean, this is something we'll be doing as well, is take a look at actual commanders that we can actually change over. And, of course, captains. Could probably do with taking a look at the commander, squadron commander of the G3s in Malaya too, actually. I'd say, well, hello there, by the way, Bello. I'd say obviously more aviation support, but obviously then increase the amount of rest as well to make sure those planes are resting. Assigned commanders have an asterisk next to their name. Alright, okay. Yeah, that's true. Let's see then, can we find any... Right, okay, so he's assigned then. Ah, well that's brilliant to know then. Dun 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 dun. I mean, obviously administration is something to take into consideration too. So in fairness, his air skill is not up there, but his administration is. I think what we want to do then is have a balanced approach here, so a mix of air and administration. I think administration is... Or is it only the air skill that will affect how much we coordinate? If we have a higher administration, will that affect their ability to coordinate? That's an interesting one. How are you guys doing, by the way? Do hope everybody is doing well. Yeah, some of these... Yeah, I'd rather use my political points doing this, actually. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, we'd love to have, like... we've got a couple bases. I mean, Kutubulu's got... I mean, it's not the largest air base, but it's got a hell of a lot of aviation support. Yeah, that's true. Operational losses are the biggest thing. Right then, so come on guys. What do I want here? There's a matrix for deciding what leaders to pick. I'd open the link, but I can't tab out. Well, I can tab out, but obviously be paying the arse. And the taskbar suddenly decides he wants to show. Basically, certain bases, for example, it's limited by the base. It's like, for example, I think Tokyo can have like a size 10 airbase, or already does have a size 10 airbase. Whereas like island bases, like certain islands, or just certain bases in general, have a limit to how big that airbase can actually be. Alright, well, might as well tab out then while we're here. Though, I am actually just going to quickly save it just in case. I get kind of nervous about tabbing out. And I don't want to lose what we've just done. So that would be a pain in the arse. Use a decision pencil thing. Right, there we go. I mean... Okay, let's take a look at that. Yeah. I mean, this is it, Bello. If you go ahead and join the Discord as well, it's like there's a lot of really experienced actual players there. It's fantastic. And we also have some very good discussions, which is always a fun thing. Yeah. Alpha 2 engined bomber squadrons, high air, high leadership, high inspiration, that order. Okay, that's good to know, man. Also, we'll take a look at this at a later date, as this does come in very, very handy. Very, very handy. Right. Bring that back up. Right. Right, so we'll take a look by air then. Then obviously go in that order. And we do have a lot of commanders, and it's good to see that we have many of that on our side. But again, we don't have that many squadrons, do we? A lot of discussions. Oh dear. Right, so high air. But I do want to reserve the best commanders for Malaya at the moment. Okay. So let's see then, we've got 67. We're looking for leadership and inspiration. Oh, right, that's fair enough. That's pretty handy. Leadership and inspiration. So we only have to take a look at this and then take a look at this. So that's pretty good. I think what we'll do then is 65 is a pretty good number. We'll go with 65, 58, 55, 62, 59, 61, 58. I'll go with... I want my best commanders in Malaya. And currently that looks like Fushida. 69, 74, 70. Yeah, he's definitely our best commander. But then again, we probably want to have him assigned to like a fighter command really than a bomber command. God, this is the thing, isn't it? Kind of interested, angry, confused at the same time. Yeah, I know, right? Oh god, we'd have to publish a book, wouldn't we? We'll take a look at the points cost. So let's see. 64, 50, 58. Then again, for another political point, we get 64 air again, but we get 58 and 62. I'll go with the 58, 55. Then the other squadron can have the other bomber, other commander. So, Wada. Right, there we go. Evaluation. Oh, Kusumoto. Is known to be a promising and aggressive officer. I love that little assessment. How awesome is that? Yeah. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? Right. How do we want to organise? Again. He's a bloody good commander then, isn't he? I'm sure there's a different pool for fighter squadron leaders and bomber squadron leaders. That's pretty awesome. True. Alright then, we'll have Kusumoto. Or the commander of the 1st KUK. Done. Whoosh. That's a big old difference there. Yeah, these are some pretty bad commanders here. So what we're doing then is we're basically getting the turnips out. 58, 68, sorry, 62. There we go. Yeah, look at the difference there, 63. $64, 65. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Fushida was the leader of Pearl Harbor Strike Force, assigned him to Kidibutai. Ah, thank you very much, they're diligent. It is the melted brains playing the game. To be fair though, that assessment, I suppose it's one of these things, isn't it? It's like from a academic point of view, I suppose. From an academic evaluation of an officer, I suppose it's like they would prove to be promising. But then again, I suppose when it actually comes down to the bloody real thing, the realistic application of knowledge and tactics, yeah, it's a completely different story. But yeah, thanks again there, Diligent, that really does make a big difference. Thank you very much. Yeah, go on then, we'll have Fushida assigned to Kidobutai. He kind of does deserve to be there. If I can assign him from all that way. Probably, I'd imagine already. Was he on Kidobutai? Possibly. Right. I'll have him in charge of the largest squadron. Which one's more likely to survive? They're armoured the same anyway. Mostly because they're the same fucking class, but as the flagship. We'll have him on the flagship. Okay, we'll have him in charge of the torpedo bombers, I guess. At the end of the day, those are the things that are going to do the killing. I mean, he's still a very good commander. How long would it take someone to get to Kidobutai if he's on the home islands? Yeah. It looks as though they thought about having like some kind of delay. I mean, that would be really bloody interesting. Right, we'll have Fushida in charge of the actual torpedo squadron aboard the flagship then. Indeed, but then again we'll have Kidobutai out here minus Akagi. So we'll have him on the new flagship. B5 and 2 squadron. That's good then. Yes, we'll have Fushida. There we go. At least Fushida is at home now. Obviously not on Akagi, but well. I think we'll have to take a look at then these pilots, but it's very interesting to really take that into consideration. Shimazaki. Good commander there. Tadashi. Yeah. Masamura. I mean, these names are really recognizable. Coolio. Who's actually commanding at the moment? So we have Tamon Yamaguchi. Okada. Another recognizable name. Yeah, I'd imagine that'd be a hell of a long flight. Yeah, so we need to set up our float planes over here. We kind of need to do that. I wish there was like a button where it said like, apply to every task force. That'd be nice. But we'll do this now, then at least we don't have to worry about this in the future, should it actually come back to haunt us. Okay. Naval search, yep. Set all float planes. Yeah, that's very true, isn't it? You have, like, such macro. You have the actual economies of scale, like the sheer size of the Japanese war machine. And then you have individual pilots. Incredible, really. So we only have a few float planes over here, to be fair. Right, we'll go over here then to Kiributai. And will you finish this turn today? Yeah, we should finish the turn today. Yamamoto should be on the Yamato. Yeah. Oh dear. God. We are definitely lacking float planes. We really do need seaplane carriers in here. Or additional cruisers, really. What am I doing? I can just click this. Oh, never mind. I thought I did 51. Then again, I can right-click it and left-click twice. Okay, yeah, we'll go with that then. Is that Joe flying at night? Could you really checking that? Right, so you're running night ops. I'll have two of them running night ops. Now, to be fair, we do have to worry about... then again, no, I'll have you run lower altitude, but obviously at day. That's more so for the submarine threat. Make sure you're running your full range. There we go. Obviously make sure their range is actually out there. Yep. Superb. I'd rather have them on naval attack, actually. I mean, how do we want to do this, then? Do we want to have 20% of the squadron out searching, 10% of the squadron resting, and then obviously the remaining 70% of the squadron available to attack? Probably for the best. Okay. I would also going to take a look at the... I think we'd obviously need to have this further to the north. Oh god, I love how I can see this. Right. Yeah. Okay. Settle G for the M2 Nels. Okay, air. So there, Apollo. The war's going alright. We're currently refining our tactics, which is going to be really handy. And we're definitely taking a deeper look now than we have done before. So we're actually taking a look into actual pilots, individual squadron commanders, which is going to make a massive difference. And the industry is chugging along nicely. The amount of zeros being produced per day is increasing. The amount of individual airframes being produced has decreased. We've refined... Yeah, well, really consolidated the amount of aircraft models we're producing, which is going to mean we'll have more of them sooner. And we should see our first new aircraft model arrive in about 6 months for the fighters, which is going to be the Tojo, so the KI-44. And it's going to be nice, it's going to be very handy. It's not the most effective thing after a couple of months, which is fine. will make a difference though in this short period of time, so I'd like that. God, I love that range. No, we're not far from having aces though. Not far. Right, there we go. And something is actually patrolling here all day. Ah, is it you? Nope. To be fair, is there even any point running escort? I might as well just have them all on combat air patrol. Well, let's change this to about 60-40 for the time being, considering there's no enemies around here. Yeah, that's a good idea, really, isn't it? And that's actually a pretty decent commander. Pretty damn decent. One of our best. Actually, currently the best. I'll have him changed down. That looks like a decent commander then. Satohara. I'd rather have a competent commander, but the best obviously need to be in command of the best squadrons. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that commander's really poor. Is this 2 engines or 4 engines? There we go. Better commander now. I mean, we can take a look at our A6 and 2 squadrons and really put him onto something better. I mean, even in command of a KI-43s in the future. Yeah. Shocking, isn't it? How many episodes? We've only hit 8 days in. It's going to be a long series. Oh well, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, is it the G3s that are running the all-day cover? Yeah, that's true. Ah, yeah, 4 engine. It's got a nice armament. That 20mm on the rear is quite good. I'll give the same settings to all the level bombers here. And again, you know the thing is, when they're not out, they're going to be resting anyway, so I don't need that. Well, as you do, because you don't have a secondary mission. $51.40. $51.40. Only 2 of them, though. Okay, well, that works out fine. And we want to cover this area more so due to the fact that we know there's ships around this area. At least we actually do have some cover over Akagi and Karga for the time being. Once we have some supply and engineers over here at Wake, we could consider moving patrol. But not yet. Do I have 4 Jenks here? That's really quite nice. It really depends where. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, sometimes it is better to have that all-around, well, like 360 coverage sort of thing. Like, kind of random. Then other times it's better to obviously have it defined when obviously you know where the enemy is going to be approaching from. That's good then. Yeah, every ship sunk is at least another tally on the chart for vengeance for Haruna. Yeah. don't give spoilers. Absolutely not. See you later, Shannon. Yep. Turn 9 will be coming up pretty soon, to be fair. So I do have my patrols currently looking over this area. I think they're running, obviously, reconnaissance, so I'm probably going to change that back to naval search. Yeah, I'll change that to naval search. I'm probably better off just having it look down that way. I was thinking of trying to, like, look over these bases, but I'm going to reconsider that. I think we'll just take a look at this area. At the end of the day, we have 2 ships out this way. We need more information. Ah, see you later there, pirate. Okay. 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260. Right, 290. Oops. I'd say... I'll go for 210. I mean, this is it. You can watch both perspectives, but at the end of the day, just like try not to give anything away. I should go for about... one more should do it fine. We'll have all day coverage then. Oops. Ah, fuck's sake. Wrong way. Okay, might as well have all day coverage. One more. Then again, I'm missing this area here. I do have some rings out that way. Right, we'll go with that. Set range out further. There we go. I'm so very happy that I can actually see search patterns now. It does make things significantly bloody easier. And, well, more coordinated. Yeah, this is against the historical gamer. I mean, this is it. It's like, I feel bad for not doing the single player series, but the thing is, there's just such a huge gulf of experience difference now between the single player series and playing this series against the historical game, and it's like, it's one of them, really. We might do another single player one in the future, possibly with a mod. But I don't know, I can only apologise to those guys. Ah dear. Mostly watch for the kill confirmations. I like that. Right. 2 long lances is a lot for even a battleship to shrug off. Yes, I can imagine. If you watch both streams, the best way to keep things for yourselves is to just react on things that you see in one stream. No hindsight, no nothing, assume you don't know anything. Yeah, that was pretty big. I can imagine that the Prince of Wales and the Repulse... I mean, Prince of Wales, most definitely. I imagine she's going to be moving significantly slower. She'll be able to handle it, I'd imagine. I don't imagine she'll go down. The Repulse, I'd imagine she's probably going to find her speed reduced. I imagine she'll be able to handle the situation and remain somewhat seaworthy. It's a shame that we didn't get any magazine explosions. That'd have been a fucking beautiful thing. If you want a single player game with this, play the downfall scenario. God. Can you imagine playing as the Japanese in the downfall scenario? It's just like... What do you do? What do you do at that point? You don't do anything. You can continue to struggle, but yeah, it's just game over. Just game over. Really? Huh. That's pretty cool then. I mean, we'll readjust these search patterns in the future. Yeah, we'll do that in the future. It's not a major concern at the moment. Yeah. Possibly so. She could still very well be here. It's like, we don't know what's in here. She could be in one of these, ones over here, to be fair. Oh, God. It wasn't terrible. Okay, that's not too bad, then. What the hell's running that, over there? Well, this is what we suspected, really, isn't it? It's like, he had to take her... Well, I'd imagine he's going to have to take her to Singapore. I can't see any other possibility. So, I mean, that does add a lot to this right now. So it's like, yes, we did lose Haruna, but at least with Haruna gone, we don't have that weighing on our minds. We don't have that weighing on our tactical decisions. We don't have it weighing on us. It's a loss of a beautiful ship, and it is going to be missed. But at least in that case, we have inflicted damage upon 2 of his capital ships in the area. So now he has to take that into consideration. He has to escort them. He has to worry about them. He has to repair them. And he can only really do that in Singapore. And the thing is, Singapore is going to be under threat within the next couple days. So, what starts as a successful... To be fair, it's like, I would call it a tactical victory for the historical game at the Battle of Mersing. I'd call that a tactical victory. He managed to disrupt my landings, successfully so. He managed to inflict a loss upon me, that of a capital ship. And of course a number of other ships, such as a destroyer, I think, went down. Torpedo boat, Booster went down. A submarine went down. But the thing is, he lost a heavy cruiser. He lost potentially a few destroyers. His light cruisers were damaged. He lost a troop transport. I think a patrol boat was hit. And of course, his capital ships are now damaged. They can't really go too far. So, ultimately, I'd say tactical victory to THG on that one. But I think the strategic victory is going to be ours. Because at the end of the day, should we threaten Singapore, he's going to have to make a choice to leave or stay. If he stays, yeah, he might be able to bombard, but eventually Singapore will fall. Should she leave, there's a good chance that she might die. So I'm fairly confident, and I don't think it's actually much of an issue. Yeah, that's also another thing as well. Less fuel being burnt there. Oh dear. I see these are the big ticket. Very true. Like, we do have a good number of battleships. We have a good number of actual heavy cruisers. It's like we do have a better service task force in this area for now. He only has so many ships. So many. He'll outnumber us in carriers, but he doesn't right now. And he doesn't in this theatre, which is something that we need to take absolute advantage of. It's like we have carriers in, well, just approaching Indochina now. They might not have the best planes, but that's 2 light carriers, 4 battleships. To accompany the... Well, Congo's going to head towards China or Japan now to obviously go repair. But... yeah, we're going to have 4 battleships that are more heavily armoured, more heavily armed, with air escort. It's going to be a different story. We're using Kotobaru as the new airfield for your G3s and G4Ms. Yeah, that's correct. Kotobaru I don't think's got that much damage. Also, hello there, Paul. How you doing, my friend? Both Pauls, how you doing? Yeah, can you imagine if we'd hit the magazine? Oh, that'd have been beautiful. Okay, what am I doing now? I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, I was looking for that plane, wasn't I? Yeah, it's you, isn't it? What are these settings? I think that means internal. General purpose bomb. I could have her on ASW. Or we might just have it on training. Might be better just have it on ASW training. Yeah, we'll have her on ASW training. She's currently on naval attack and she's doing fuck all at the moment. I think that was just like a misclick some point in the past. So we'll put her on training. There we go. So we should have the 22nd Air Flotilla headquarters over here at Kotobaru. So I should take a look at the stars Kotobaru. Yeah, the airfield is fully functional, which is fantastic. It's been expanded as well. It's going to take some time, but it will be done. I mean, look at the amount of aviation support we have here. Very nice. I like that one. I think we will move Congo, but we are going to wait a couple days. Oh, I'd love that. Well, I don't love that it's happening to her, but I like the fact we can see that. Okay. We're going to leave her here for just a couple days. I could have her stood down at pier side. Also, it would take time to make her ready again. I think we'll have her in a state of readiness. Then again, while she's here... Yeah, I mean, you take a look at the armor here. I mean, these battleships have an additional 100mm of belt armor. That's a considerable difference. I think they also have potentially, is it 150 deck armor? And they also have a more armored tower as well. So they're just packing overall more armor. Not too much of a difference in terms of like overall gunpowder. What do you guys think then? Should we go with Pierside's repairs? I mean, obviously that's a difference there of a couple of days. It's one of these things of I'm considering moving Congo within a week, but not immediately. For the fact of, well, she's not that damaged. Her system damage is only, I mean, yeah, it's 17, which is obviously considerable. It's there. It's 1/5 almost, well, almost 1/5 damaged. Almost 20% damage, well, 17% damage there. But it's the flood that I'm really concerned about. If we can deal with the flood damage, we'd obviously be able to get her back up to speed. We wouldn't have to worry too much. Her current speed at the moment is at maximum 20 knots, which isn't great. We need her really to gain that speed back. But the thing is, if we take her off of readiness... Oh, to be fair, I don't think we're going to be seeing a threat to Kotable Route, so I think we should probably have her on Pierside review. Pierside repair. At least then the repairs that can be done each day will be slightly better. So then when we actually do come to moving her in about a week or so, at least there might be more damage repaired. And also we'll get her then ready, so yeah, we'll go with Pierside. I think we'll go with Pierside. Okay, yeah, Pierside review. Pierside repair mode. I think it's safer to have her here for now. How do we see that damage then? How do you tell how much damage could actually be repaired here? Oh. Right, okay. So is that basically an indication of how much we can actually repair? Because if so, that's really quite good to know. Interesting. That's very interesting. So we can't obviously replace the system damage, but we can actually repair 2 of the flood. Right. Interesting. Yeah, so we can obviously repair the damage here. Seems like we might be able to repair some of it. So it would take 37 days to actually repair 2 damage then. Well, we'll keep her in a state of readiness then. Just leave her there on readiness and just let them do whatever they can do. Okay. That's fine by me. And we do have a number of, obviously, service task forces over here to work their magic. Now, we do have... Turn the engineers off. Turn headquarters off. So the Yokosuka are going to be loaded up. There's a couple of forces obviously being unloaded. We do have the 114th Regiment. Currently without... Well, actually, never mind. I think if you go over to the forums, I think there's a link to the latest patch. To be fair, it's something I've not thought about for a long time, to be fair. I'd say probably head over to the forums, that's probably the best place to find something. Okay. Right, the 56th Infantry Regiment. Ah, right, yes, that's the 18th Division. Okay. We do have the Imperial Guard Division here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on rest and training for the time being. Go ahead into a low star. The medium artillery. See, part of me thinks, should we keep our Imperial Guard Division on strategic mode? The reason for that is, should we capture an actual rail line? Well, a base on a rail line. At least we'd be able to move them immediately. I think, we'll rest for now. Honestly, they're going to unpack. We'll have them rest. It's going to take a couple of days before we actually get anywhere meaningful. There's no point going strategic transport to there for low staffs. It's not, well, it's no fucking where. So we'll have them on rest and training for now. Same for these guys. The Yamashita's ghost. Right, put you to combat. Those troops are just setting off. We have these troops already over here. They're on their way to a low star. I can understand, yeah. Those troops haven't set off. Which makes me wonder, I might as well put them on bloody strategic. Do I even bother moving them? There's a lot of assault value, I'm not gonna lie though. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll keep the RTA here. Well, what I'm going to do is basically have them on... We'll have them all on R&R. I think once we capture this base down here at Taiping, then I could consider putting them on strategic and having them railed out down this way. I mean, I'd rather have them railed down to Kuala Lumpur, but rested and well, obviously have their training increase. Yeah, so we're going to cancel the destination here. Then again, I'm going to need something to hold here. But even then, I'll have you put to strategic. You're going to be on rest and training. Yeah, that's fine by me. Yeah, once we capture this base here, then I'll consider moving one of the RTA divisions, depending if we need that support, or even just to have like an influx of fresh troops. But I think at the moment it's really better just to have them just recover from that fatigue and disruption. I mean, the thing is, it's like his forces here in Malaya. Obviously, they're going to have a lot of disruption. They're going to have a lot of fatigue from the fact that they'll be moving, they'll be fighting. At some point, anyway. Well, this is it. It's like, I'd imagine he's going to be moving the vast majority of his forces to Singapore, which was the entire reasoning behind the Battle of Mersing, basically. As we did try to actually land at Mersing to cut the rail line. But it looks as though he's retreated the vast majority of his forces already. Which, in some things, like, I kind of prefer that. Like, it would have been brilliant for us to have obviously have caught them in Malaya, then would have obviously cut them off. But, oh well. That passes now. Obviously, we'll have to just plan for the future. But if he's actually abandoned these bases in Malaya, at least then it'll make it that much easier to capture them. We do have a task force. Task force 9-1. Yeah, we do have the task force over here. What is it? Fast transport, yeah. So we have the Mersing Express, which is going to be taking the Yokosuka Special Naval Landing Forces, obviously once they're loaded up. Asada, yeah, he's not the best. He's alright, actually. Okay. Let's take a look at the commander of the task force that's going to remain here, then. It's not the biggest task force ever, is it? Watanabe. Why does that name ring a bell? Naval's very good. Yeah, his naval's pretty damn good. His aggression's good. Okay. Right, there we go. Japanese actor. Yeah, what's it again? Like, why is that name coming to? Sands of Iwo Inception. Yeah, yeah. I'm just thinking that name sounds really bloody familiar. Where do I know that name from? So that's cool. I like that. It's nice. Right. By Jove. I think we're done. Japanese Top Shot. I like that. Yeah, true. Then again, I don't know every Japanese Watanabe. It is a cool name, not gonna lie. Right, let's take into consideration what's going on. So we have our forces on their way over here to pick up some additional forces. I've not actually watched Westworld, actually. I like the film, but I've not seen the actual TV show. Yes, okay, so we do have a force on its way to Tarawa. I think what we'll do at Tarawa is land, take the island, load back up. Then again, it does make me wonder, is it even worth landing at Tarawa? It does have a port. But Ocean Island has a port, and a better port. Nauru Island has a port. Obviously, they both lack airfields. And again, you lack an airfield at Tarawa. But they can't, well, Nauru Island could have an airfield. Part of me wonders... Well, to be fair, I think what we should probably do then is... taking control of Tarawa, and then we'll take control of Baker Island. Obviously, just have a serious violence here. Alright. Yeah, we have that underway anyway. Let's take a look at our operations report then. Previous reports of sinking the SS S-38 incorrect. I don't think that's correct. Unless it was then hit again. Hmm. Level bomber near midway. Alright, there we go. First Sentai is credited with kill number 2. 11th Sentai is credited with kill number 2. Yep, 11th. Yep, nice. I think we need some additional aviation support over here. So you can see our air transports. Yeah, that's true. Nauru. Nani? That's probably like the most Japanese thing in this world. That's pretty interesting. So there, Trotsky, how you doing, man? How you finding the 21st century? Right, what island am I looking for here? Nauru. Nauru. There's Nauru. Looking for Nauru. Okay, whereabouts is Nauru? Like, my geography isn't bad, but it's not exactly perfect. Especially when it comes to the millions of islands. We'll find Nauru later. You said that like it's a good thing. Oh. Oh, my god, I'll find it later. Up left. So there, Tim, how you doing, my friend? What am I doing? That's pretty awesome, mate. Oh, near Tarawa. Oh, there, yeah, okay. Oh, wow, it does. Jesus. Oh, they actually do have resources, don't they? I don't know why, I just didn't even look at that. That's interesting. That's actually fairly interesting. Ah. Right, okay. So I'm just blind sometimes. I do wear glasses for a reason. Right, that's actually rather interesting, man. We'll take a look at taking these islands into the future. Then 120 resources is actually a fair amount, which is quite nice. Yeah, feel free to join the Discord, Trotsky. If you head over to the Imperial Japanese channel there, then yeah, feel free to post advice. Obviously, join in the discussions. That was a good thing. There's Australian forces on it. Yeah. Right, anyway, let's go ahead and check if Kiributai has been spotted. Which is Kiributai? Where is she now? Yep, here she is. Task Force 1, okay. Task Force 1 slows down, allow meet in Task Force 168 to catch up. Yep. Right, so that would be the destroyers there, 168, I believe, near Midway Island. Right then. So as far as Kiributai is concerned, she hasn't been spotted. Which is good. Very good. Very, very good. Right. I like that. Right then, ladies and gentlemen. What else have we to do here? We have our submarines on their way down this way. Obviously, these two submarines that ran out of fuel are going to return. The vast majority of submarines over here to return into the island. I could do with setting up some additional convoys to make sure that certain islands have 20k supply. Yeah, you have 123,893, so you're okay for the time being. 22,000, so yeah, you could do a supply convoy. What we'll do then is we'll head over here to Tokyo, take some of the Hishimis, I'd imagine. Okay, we'll take these Hishimis. How much is that going to net me? 22,000 tons of supply? Yep, that's fine. Okay, start a load of supplies. Say your home port is Tokyo. And I'd like you to head. There we go. That's brilliant. Can you move this sub near Midway? To the right, intersect any reinforcements. Yeah, can do. We'll adjust our patrol pattern then. Right, that should be fine, Ben. We might get some additional information, to be fair. Right-o. Right-o. Well, what we're going to do there, Martin, is we are going to pick up some escorts along the way. That's pretty much how I'm going to go. I'm not going to waste time at Japan. We have escorts out there. Far more than we really need. So we'll be able to find them on the way over. I think that's just really how I'm going to go with things like that until Japan itself, well, until the Japanese waters themselves are too dangerous. Obviously, when it comes to a point in which we can see there's a submarine out there, or at least we know of a threat, then we'll make sure an escort is found before she sets off from Japan. But just for the time being, so we can actually get moving and get those supplies on their way, we'll have her set off without. Then obviously we'll find escorts on her way down south. Send a wooden plane in the sky against billions of shells and bullets and fragments all over. Okay. Right, so we have our plan in China. we set up our convoys. Obviously, I'd like to further refine them. This one obviously needs setting up properly. The Zeros over the Philippines, one of the Zero squadrons is running combat air patrol, while long-range combat air patrol. The others are resting. Okay, right. Home, yep, Port Arthur, yep. And there we go, fantastic. For the time being, don't worry about it. I mean, this is only going to be in the next few days. We will have ships, obviously, on their way to Japan. We'll find additional convoy escorts. To be fair, what I might do is actually take some of these Hashimis. So that's one of the convoys setting out. Right, so they're currently loaded. Marshall Line Supply Convoy. I'll allow them to continue for the time being. Ooh, that's an interesting question, isn't it? How long do you think you can keep Midway? It really depends. It really does depend. Like, the entire basis of that question really resolves around how much I want to hold Midway. And how much does he want to take Midway? Like, I could throw a lot of things onto Midway. But the thing is, it's absolutely the furthest extent of the Japanese Empire. Unless we take something like, I don't know, like Dutch Harbor, well, not Dutch Harbor, but one of the islands and Aleutians. So it's one of these things, it's absolutely all the way out there, right next to Pearl Harbor, where he has a major port and airfield. Easily available. We'll have a lot of troops. Obviously a lot of warships. So, what I really envision doing with Midway is I'd like to actually get a decent amount of supply. Have some troops, not a lot of troops, but basically some troops on the island to fortify it. Like, we're not going to leave a large garrison because it's not needed. But we'll leave a, I don't know, maybe about 1,000 men, 2,000 men potentially. I could be a nasty son of a bitch and leave some armor, but that'd be a waste of armor. And the armor's not really great anyway. But even, no, we might do. We might leave some armor, but we'll decide about it. But yeah, the biggest thing is going to come down to mining. Yeah. I mean, mines are nasty. Absolutely nasty. So really what I'd like to do is probably just have a smallish garrison, fortify the island, and then I'd like to have some midget submarines really just there as a FU for the most part. They do have a little bit of range. I mean, they could head out 1 hex, give or take, which is worth its weight in gold. They only have, like, what, 2 torpedoes, give or take. But the thing is, I don't know, would they have torpedoes considering that they wouldn't have a... I suppose they'd have to draw it from the actual supply. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so... we could have some midget submarines out that way. So for like 4 midget submarines, like 2 torpedoes each, that's potentially some damage done right there. Indeed. Right. Yeah, mine the whole island with TNT. I'm not going to build up the airbase in any single way. Really, Midway is nothing more than a reconnaissance outpost. That's all it is, really. Right. So we have our troop movements over here. We have given a better commander to the... Well, we'll be able to give... well... Yeah, we'll be able to kick out the old commander over here of the Singapore Express, and we'll put in a new commander that's more effective once they reach Cam Bay. And we have additional forces on their way to Cam Bay. We've got the G4s over here. Obviously, to go and train it for the time being. Once we do decide to land and lose on, basically what I'm going to do is actually have the A6M2 Zeros rest for the time being, and then we'll put them and lose on. Now, I do have another squadron of KI-27s over here. And to be fair, what I'm going to do is actually move them to Luzon. I think. We'll take a quick look. The base at Apari is going to be our main airfield for the time being. It'll probably take it over its stack limit. But I do have a lot... Well, I have a fair amount of aviation support, so I think we'll be okay. It's just the size of the airfield is not very large. size 2 airfield. Size 3. There's a lot of supply there. Okay. Issue is I don't have any rail connections here, so that sucks. Also, we can't move here via strategic. Right, so what we're going to do then is move. I'll move 2/3 of them. Then move the rest later. Right. Well, that's like half of them, to be fair. Right, we'll have you move up to that base over there. I could do with some aviation engineers over here. But what we'll do then is I'm going to land, for the time being. This squadron, I'll actually have them spread out over here. Once we have some actual aviation support, that would be far better for them. But I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket over here at Apari, considering it's a size 1 airfield. Yes, it has the aviation support, but I don't want him to be hitting it with B-17s. Right, so we'll put them on combat air patrol. I'll have them run higher altitude. I'll have these guys run 15,000 feet. Okay. So we've increased our fighter presence over here. Actually, that one will go ahead once it can join up. I do need to move that engineering unit. Also, the SLLF would be useful elsewhere. Okay. Right. Right, okay, so you're heading to Miri. Obviously, we'll probably have them diverted to Kamran Bay first. Yeah, we'll have them diverted over that way. It is going to represent some additional aircraft, which is good. But for the most part, I want those Hoshos available. Well, basically the escort carriers available. For one, so I can actually potentially run ASW missions should I wish to with some like other squadron that isn't particularly very modern. But also so I can actually transport squadrons in need of repair, to be fair. I'll obviously have them moved out, as obviously we will need to move them. So we'll have them head to Kamran Bay. We do need to organise a force to invade the Aleutians. So your targets of Dutch Harbour at the moment. Interesting. Right, these forces need to be sent to Tokyo and then we can can combine them. Yeah, you're on your way to Tokyo, fantastic. What we'll do then is we'll have the 4th Infantry Battalion, well, Infantry Regiment, link up, suit up, mount up, And then we'll have them head over to the Illusions. That sounds about right. Okay, these AMCs are currently out in the shipping lanes at the moment. That one's heading towards Panama. That one did bypass Suva. It didn't pick up any information, sadly. What are you packing? You don't have the range. Look at that. This is a fitting song. Right, perfect. Once you're within 6 hexes, yeah, I want you to actually run reconnaissance. Well, run reconnaissance over Suva. We need that information. Any bit of information now is going to make all the difference in the world. We do have submarines on their way to Fiji, quite a few of them, which is going to be good. So I think, I don't know. I don't think he may be tipped off by just a float plane over Suva, a single float plane. It will give him an indication, but it won't be like, yeah, okay, invasion coming. Prepare, yeah, well, be prepared. It's like we took Canton without him obviously being aware of that. And we will move. I'm somewhat considering moving from Canton for the time being. I mean, let's consider this then. I do need an additional force over here. He won't fly reconnaissance, you only have one plane who's on 100%. Oh, is he on naval surge? Ah. That would be why then he didn't do that. Yeah, mate, it's absolutely fine. Like, if you can find some tracks that are fitting and non-copyrighted, I'm absolutely open to that. Don't get me wrong, I really do like the Heartsvine 2 and Heartsvine 3 soundtrack. But it's just, I've heard them so many times, and I'm sure you guys are a little bit bored of it as well. But yeah, if you can actually find some tracks that are non-copyrighted, then bloody let them out. Well, let them at me. Let me at them. Yeah, let me at them. That's what I mean. Alright then. So do we want to just have that on 0 and he'll go out and do his business? Indeed, kill the wabbit. Ba da da da. Yeah. Let's wait for confirmation on that. And for the most part, right, that's fantastic. Awesome. We'll leave that as it is then. Brilliant. Yeah, now we'll do his business. I mean, even if it goes down, it's going to be a shame, because at the end of the day, that's going to hurt. Boom, boom. Pretty much. Oh, sweet, man. Yeah, just play Flight of the Valkyries over and over. See, there's a lot of really good German music, a lot of good music from the period. It's just the bloody vast majority of it is copyrighted, which is a shame. Because, goddammit, I'd love to listen to some German tracks, because they are so good. Also, the Red Army tracks are amazing. Right, what do you guys think then? Should we potentially look at evacuating Canton? I think my feelings regarding Canton is, oh yeah, I need to look at actually the Terminal Conflict soundtrack. I've not listened to any of them, to be fair. Well, other than the ones we did play in the game. I've been lazy. Right, what do you guys think then? So we did strike and we did take Canton. We did eliminate his engineering unit there, which is actually very nice. The airfield and the port is quite heavily damaged. We only have about 2,000 tons of supply there. We have 2 cruiser mine layers, but what we could do potentially is load our troops back up. We're still going to hold control of the base. I don't think it will default back to the enemy unless he comes back here in force. So, what we could do then is basically hold Canton as a bluff. We have no planes in the area that can make it right now. I mean, if somebody wants to link me, then go ahead. I do apologize, I am fairly lazy at times. Fine of a day. Okay, what we'll do then is we'll load back up at Canton. Yep. Plus we need some fuel. I need another ship. That's fine, mate. Don't worry about it. Damn. I need one ship. Yeah, those sound pretty good. I'll have to check them out after the stream, to be fair. I mean, we could potentially use them to possibly strike at other undefended islands or lightly defended islands. I mean, it's a decent little force. It's not amazing, but it's at least something. Right, so you're currently loading. Right, load. Well, not unload, load. Some troops will be left behind. We'll pick them up in the future. Right, it's currently pending. I need it to load. Cannot dock. One wonders. See, I might be able to manage it. Right. The issue is you now have troops on board. Okay. Let them load the troops. Once they're done, we'll have them get underway. And then we'll have the destroyers using fast transport pick up the remaining troops, and then we'll be able to move them all. I think that'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it fine. 75, 75, yeah, that'll make up the difference. Fantastic. Okay. I think with that, we are pretty much done. Pretty much. Yes, I think I was going to have them targeted, wasn't I? These are currently resting. Reset arc. Right. Okay. 120, 130, 140. Yeah, that'll do. Hello there, Austin, how you doing, my friend? Oh yeah, no, I don't take any offense to it, to be fair. It's like we have a completely different recording style. I do like to do things in absolute detail. I do like to discuss each and every decision that we make. And there's nothing wrong with the way that DHD does it. And I'd like to say there's nothing wrong with the way I do it. I think it's one of these things. I think it's one of these games where if I was putting less time, I don't think I would do in my own viewers, and I don't think I'd be doing THG's viewers. Their proper service. It's like I'm committed to this for weeks, months, years, and I'd like it to be entertaining. I'd ultimately like it to be a good game. But yeah, we can get everything turns. It's just certain turns take longer than others. It's like this one take is going to take longer due to the fact that we have now discovered the secret sites of how to see our patrols. But for the most part, once we get stuff going, it's like turns will get quicker. Don't shame me. Oh dear. Right, set for all G3s. Okay. Did I click all G3s or did I click all bombers? Okay, one sec. Training. It's because of the search, isn't it? That's good then. Right. I'm fine with that. We'll go with that. Hello there, Austin. How you doing, my friend? Alright then, so I think we got that under wraps, which is good. Very good. Did I actually finish this over here? Yep, that's done. If you reduce the max range for search in ASW, like how it works for ASW is basically you want them at max range because ASW missions actually reduce their range. So the greater your maximum, yeah, anyway, you know what I mean. The longer your range, that reduction isn't going to make as much difference. Say your range is 30 and it's reduced by a third, it's going to make a smaller difference than say your range is 10 at max and it's reduced by a third. Alright then. And I think with that we're good to go. Also we can't have our G3s fly this turn as of yet. Ah, it's a poor commander. Yeah, we have two poor commanders over here, so we're going to take a look at actually overhauling the commanders of these squadrons. Yeah, we'll take 265s. There we go. Why did I split them up? We're not given a target. There's no reason to have them split up as far as I can tell. Currently there's no reason to run long-range combat air patrol, so we'll run combat air patrol. Right, 37. 39. And we'll run you down about 15,000 feet. Oh wow, I love that. That is a sexy plane. Commander's very good. The aptly named Jehovah Rune. She needs to head down to Saigon. I'll have an escort meet her at some point. Yeah, obviously we are lacking a garrison at Bangkok, which is something I do need to rectify. That is kind of asking for trouble. I am going to have... let's see. I'm going to have the 7th actually head to Bangkok. I can't risk it. Right, I have a question. Do you still plan on going after the Prince of Wales and Repulse or ignore them? Well, for the most part, I'd imagine Prince of Wales and Repulse are afloat, though I'd imagine they're rather damaged. Prince of Wales more so obviously than Repulse. I'd wager that in regards to his two capital ships there, he is going to have them head into Singapore, because frankly he has no other option, unless he wants to risk the gamble of submarines with damaged ships that are going to be inevitably slowed down. So for the most part, as far as it goes into actively hunting them, it depends if they're actually going to make it there. Are you going to shock attack at Victoria Point? I think it's just a base force. Do you think we can get away with a shock attack? If we can get away with a shock attack, we'll go for a shock attack. 460 troops versus... Yeah, okay, we'll go over a shock attack then. Yes, anyway. So, yeah. I'd imagine he's going to have his two big ships head into Singapore. And the thing is, they're going to remain in Singapore until they're repaired. Which can take quite a number of days. So the thing is, what's going to happen first is it going to be Japanese forces arrive at Singapore and force him to leave, or is it going to be that he gets skittish and he has his capital ships head out here, in which case we actually have our submarines to meet him. So, as far as it goes, I don't need to actively hunt her. Once we have our torpedo bombers in the air with their full torpedo salvos, then yeah, things will just work out quite nicely. Indeed, I hope that did answer the question. But yeah, I think we are done with the turn now. I know it's been a long stream, been a couple long streams. But as far as I can tell, I think we are predominantly done here. So I'd like to thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this just as much as I have, to be fair. And those of you who are new to the stream, welcome, welcome. And indeed to everybody, thank you for watching. If you would like to support the channel, you can do so either by becoming a patron, which does make a big difference. You also get a fancy name tag on the Discord, and you do have my gratitude. Or you can do so via PayPal, which is the non-politically difficult question. Also, I actually get that cash rather than having to wait at least a month for it, as bloody AdSense is the way Super Chats work. Super Chats are really weird. It took me a while to figure out how they actually worked. But indeed, until next time, thank you so very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I do look very much forward to seeing you again in the future. Until that time, until turn 9. I think we're on turn 9. Are we on turn 8? I think we're on turn 8. Until turn 9. Goodbye for now.